Hi Math 10s. This video is an intro to chapter 2 on trigonometry. The first lesson in this is called the tangent ratio. So before we get into the actual tangent ratio, I just wanted to review a tiny bit of trig that you already know. Trigonometry talks mainly about angles and triangles, so trigonometry actually says 3-angle measurement. You've learned a lot about right triangles in particular so far, the fact that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, as long as c is the long side across from the 90-degree angle called the hypotenuse. You've learned a little bit of vocabulary before that about what's an acute triangle, something less than 90 degrees. A right angle I just mentioned is exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is over 90 degrees, and then you have a straight angle, which is pretty boring. It's exactly 180 degrees. Something else we know about triangles, they have to add up to 180 degrees, the three angles in there. And we have 3 different kinds of triangles. Isosceles means 2 sides are the same. So I put some example angles in there, but they don't have to be 80, 80, 20. But the nice thing about isosceles is if 2 sides are the same, 2 of the angles are also the same. You also have real simple triangle called the equilateral triangle. And in that case, if all 3 sides are the same, it means all 3 angles are also the same, and they would have to be 60, 60, 60. And the last one is called scalene, and which means the sides and angles could be anything. And so in this case, I've given you 1, 30, 30, and 20, and 3 different measurements on sides as well. Now, the ratio parts of this chapter require us to name the sides of a triangle. So I've called this angle theta. It's just like a Greek letter. It looks like an O with a line in it. And I use that because a lot of math textbooks seem to use that as their angle. You could call it angle A, angle B, angle Q, whatever you like. But angle theta, if I decide to put it there, it means that the opposite side is the one across from it, not touching it, the only side that doesn't have anything to do with it, basically. Adjacent means, like in English, what it means is beside something. And the hypotenuse obviously has to be the hypotenuse, has to be opposite the 90-degree angle. And the tangent ratio, which is what we're going to use a whole bunch today in lesson 2.1, is specifically if you take the opposite side and divide by the adjacent side. So it's just a ratio of how big the opposite is compared to the adjacent. So in our next example, we'll start solving some triangles using the tangent ratio.